at the beautiful spinach. Okay, we're not gonna stay here very long. It's starting to rain a little bit. This is my spinach crop. By far the biggest and most beautiful spinach crop ever. It is starting to get a little bit of flowery on top, so we are going to harvest it all today, even though it's raining. And I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it in spinach dip. I've heard that you can make spinach dip and freeze it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make spinach dip. Isn't it just so pretty? I'm going to make spinach dip and use some of it fresh and then freeze the rest and see if that is a good way to preserve spinach. All right, let's see. Okay, I've harvested all of the spinach, even though it is raining. I'm going to say this is about a 2 by 3 foot square. This is super compressed. We'll take it inside and measure it and see how much we get. Then I got a pile of leftovers that go to the chickens. Morning, chickies! Where's my girls at? Hi! Eleanor, Sheila, and Lucy, what's up? Hang on. Got a snack for you. I feed my chickens actual chicken pellets, but they also get lots of greens. I don't want to know how you got that in there. This makes their day. They're super happy. They're so happy that they get it at a point when I come outside, they stop and cluck at me until I bring them food. All right, ladies, enjoy your day. Okay, we're going to harvest a couple other things for my spinach dip out in the yard because I'm trying to make a healthier spinach dip. I found a recipe that uses onions, garlic, and carrots kind of caramelized in to replace any kind of flavor packets you would get if you made it really quickly at home. I am going to instead use green onions because I have them out in my garden. And we have some dietary restrictions in our house. We're supposed to avoid things like garlic and onion. So we're going to go with green onion and assume it will be healthier. Also, look at these pretty things. Hey there, buddy. I love this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest. I'm going to do about 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost 6. I'll take this one. And I'm going to take a couple little ones over here too. I have no idea how much I'm really going to need, but I'm going to take about this much and use this in place. And then I'm also going to grab some herbs, and I'll let you know what those are once I figure it out myself. Okay, spring garden wrap-up time. Everything from my spring garden is now officially out. I just harvested the spinach. I did radishes last week, and pretty much everything else has died or bolted. Things I would do different next year. I will start less plants for spring, but I will start them in bigger pots so they can try and get bigger. So I can put out more established plants in the early spring. I did a lot of little starts, and those little starts couldn't handle the abrupt weather switches in Michigan this spring. It went very, very rainy, very, very wet, and then it got very, very hot for like a week, and then it dropped back down again. So they all died or bolted or struggled, and I fed them to the chickens. So next year, maybe half a dozen of each kind of plant or variety, but maybe I'll start them in a 2-inch pot and up pot them to a 3-inch pot instead of putting them in 6-packs or smaller cells. So I'm going to try that. And then I'm also not going to start them until, let's say March 1st. March 1st I can start cool other things if they're in big pots. The other thing that I would do different, I would direct sow spinach. It would have done just fine if I direct sowed it. I would hold off on my peas a little bit. Just because you can put them out that early doesn't mean you should. What happens with me is when I put my peas out that early, they grow, but because they're the only green thing out, the birds eat them. They just decimate them. Sparrows kill them. So I planted an entire 30-foot row of peas in the front garden. I planted a whole bunch of bean teepees with specialty peas, and then a little 6-foot box in the driveway side. The only one that has still alive is the 6-foot one on the driveway side, and it's just starting to flower now. So I think if I wait and plant them later in the year, more into April, end of April, first week of May, I might get peas a little later, but I'll get them. So I'm going to do that next time. I'm also going to do beets from seed earlier and radishes from seed earlier in the ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the ground in a big long row. The problem I had with my radishes this year is while they worked and we ate them, I didn't get a ton of them, so to preserve them didn't really happen. So we just ate them. I'm not going to say we. I don't eat radishes, but Brent tried roasting them and he thought they were okay. He thought they would taste better roasted with other vegetables, which this time of year, I don't have any other vegetables to roast with them. I'm going to try fermenting them in the fall. I'm going to try growing a set of them in the fall, and we'll see for that. So that's it. Same thing with beets. I want to do pickled beets in the fall. I'm going to grow a giant row, 30-foot row of them, and I'll do that in the spring as well. So that's what I would do different with those. Otherwise, spring garden pretty much. Oh, I lied. Lettuce. Lettuce is still there. Lettuce is fabulous. I direct sowed lettuce seed, and I direct sowed leaf lettuce, and I put it super close. So I just totally filled up a bed with lettuce seed and just scattered them. And then I'll just cut that, and it'll grow as kind of cut and come again. So I'll have lettuce, and then what I did is about a month later, I started another set of that somewhere else in the backyard. So when I've decimated this lettuce, I will go ahead and move to the next set of lettuce, and then replant that one. And that way, as long as it doesn't bolt, I should have continuous salad until the snow flies pretty much. So lettuce is still out there, and I pulled the spinach. Okay, spinach. So I harvested a 2-foot by 3-foot section of spinach, which is the most spinach I've ever done. By weight, it was about 1.5 pounds of raw spinach. 2 things I could have done differently. One, I should have harvested it sooner. I waited a little bit because I wanted to have time to harvest it and make and preserve it right away. I probably should not have done that, or I should have just made the time. If I would have harvested it 1 week earlier, I probably would have gotten over 2 pounds of spinach. A lot of it had started to go to flower on the top, and some of the bigger leaves had got sun scald on them from being out in the sun. So I should have gone a week earlier. Second thing I would have done differently is I would have harvested it halfway. So instead of just waiting for it all to go and harvesting it all at the same time, I should have treated it as cut and come again lettuce. And I should have harvested it a couple weeks ago, 1 batch, and then a second batch. And if I think I would have done that, I wouldn't have gotten those problems either. So I'm going to direct sow it early next year in that same spot, really good spot. I'm going to try and do a little bit bigger bed of it. I'm going to expand it so I get a little bit more. And then, yeah, and then I will turn it into spinach dip. Speaking of which, Brent likes it. It's really good. I will try and include the recipe that I did on here. I do not follow recipes well. I make my own. So I did a little bit of research on different kinds of healthier spinach dip. And I'm not going to say healthy because it's not healthy, but it's healthier. We're using Greek yogurt. I was going to try and do it without cream cheese and just use the Greek yogurt, but I thought that it was too soupy, maybe is the word. It needed that cream cheese in it to kind of thicken up. So I did end up putting a block of cream cheese in. So I'll put that in here, and then it made 3 pints. So 1.5 pounds of spinach made 3 pints. So I kept 1 pint out in our fridge currently, and 2 I froze. So all that work for 2 frozen pints spinach dip. Yeah, so it'll work. It's cool. I've never gotten spinach before. Brent likes it. He said it's good. Ava ate it. My family all eats it. And then all I'm going to do is in the fall, I'm going to do another crop, and we're going to try and use that and make up. We have this green smoothie we all like with pineapple, grapes, spinach, I don't know, a couple other things. But you can make those ahead and freeze them in mason jars, and then just take them out the night before and put them in the fridge and unthaw them. And they're really good that way. So the next batch of lettuce, we're going to try preserving that way, and maybe that will be a smarter way to preserve it than spinach dip. Okay, that is all for spring. Next time we talk, it will be all about summer stuff.